Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is a no-nonsense guide for you to build and upgrade the Lightning or Stag Sword in Citadelle Des Morts. To begin with, start your game as normal by turning the cannon, firing it into the castle doors, buying your way through to the Pack-a-Punch room, shooting the locks, killing the ghast that's inside, and then putting the crystal into the portal to open the PaP. Then, while you're in that area, head back into the quick revive room and go over to this wooden door. Hold square on it and you'll see an old man inside. Next, you need to get a stamp, and this can be acquired from Helm zombies once you reach round 10. Now, there are some ways that you can get them to spawn earlier in your game, but I'll link that stuff down in the description down below. For the most part, you're just going to want to get to round 10 and then one of them will spawn in. If you try and shoot it in the head, it will say immune, so just shoot it in the body, and then when it dies, it will drop a gold glowing stamp. Hold square to pick that up, and again, it will go into your items if you pull up your scoreboard, if you want to check whether or not you grabbed one. And then you need to come to the knight room once again. In here, there are 4 knight statues: the lion, the dragon, the stag, and the raven. And you can see the stag's insignia on the knight's chest. Go up to that knight and hold square to give it your stamp, and it will hold out the stag sword, which you can hold square to pick up. And if you've been juggling between swords and you're not sure which one you're holding, just check its name in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Now, as soon as you've grabbed that stag sword, you can start working on getting your 3 lightning rod parts that you need for the upgrade process. And technically, 2 of those parts can actually be done before you even pick up the sword in the first place. The first of them can be found just here next to the Deadshot machine, and it's just on the ground there every time, so you can hold square and pick it up. And the second of them requires one of 2 things. Either you can put dead wire, the ammo mod from an arsenal machine, onto your weapon, or you can use a shock charge in your equipment slot for this. But regardless of which you choose, come over to this metal box nearby the speed cola machine and shoot with dead wire or throw your shock charge at the box, and that will electrocute it, and it will cause a lightning rod to be dislodged from the building above you, and you'll be able to hold square to pick it up. Now, the third lightning rod does absolutely require you to have picked up the stag sword, and this one is very buggy for some people. Like, they have a really glitchy time doing it, so I'm going to explain the way that I think is the most reliable with this, so you can give yourself the highest possible chance of avoiding any bugs and just getting through the sword upgrade process without any problems. So let's say you've just picked up the stag sword for the first time. Straight away, run to the quick revive room, and ideally do this when you've only got one other zombie alive, because it's just going to make your life a bit easier here. Then when you get to the room, keep your eyes peeled for a new zombie spawning in. It's going to be an armored zombie every time, and it should have a little metal rod sticking out of its side. If you kill that armored zombie, you'll be able to pick the lightning rod up off the floor, and you'll be able to move on with the quest. But what if you can't find the zombie? Well, number 1, you might have had a teammate who already ran through here, caused the armored zombie to spawn in, and then dragged the armored zombie to a different part of the map. So you might want to go and check out where your teammates have been killing zombies and see if it's on the floor over there. And number 2, if you've picked up a nuke, for example, between you first picking up the stag sword and now, then the nuke might have killed the armored zombie in a weird place. Like, it might have died halfway through spawning in, and that might mean that the lightning rod is actually stuck outside the map. And in that scenario, I think the only solution is to save and quit your game and then load back in, and you might be able to get the armored zombie to spawn in again from the quick revive room when you go back in there with the stag sword. But yeah, in my experience, just heading straight there as soon as you pick the sword up is the most reliable method to make sure that this does not glitch out. Now, once you've grabbed your 3 lightning rod parts, the rest of the quest is very easy. Head up to the castle battlements and hold square on this vase to place the 3 lightning rods inside, and it will then start a little storm sequence around you. You need to pull your sword out and stand inside the storm, and after maybe 10 to 15 seconds, you'll get struck by lightning, the sword will start glowing, and you can then melee the vase to deposit the electricity into it. Now, while this is happening, zombies are going to spawn, and you're absolutely welcome to kill them, and doing so sometimes means that you get your sword charge a little bit faster. But it's not essential. If you want to try and keep one zombie alive, for example, that's also totally fine. Now, sometimes you're going to get electrocuted, and then you'll melee the vase, and your electricity won't go into it properly. This is just a problem with the hitbox on the vase, so just wait for you to get struck by lightning again, and then try again. And once you've successfully deposited 3 bolts of lightning into the vase, you're going to see that the vase stops spinning, and you'll be able to put your sword inside. And then after a few seconds, you'll be able to pull out your charged lightning sword. But what you may not be aware of is that it actually has a couple of hidden abilities. So just like all the other elemental swords, it's got the ability to parry parasites, so you can reflect their spit back to them, and you can also parry amalgams, so you avoid taking any damage and any armor damage when they suck you, and you can parry the boss in the Easter egg boss fight as well. But alongside that, the Stag Sword has its regular slash attack, and it has its charged attack, which fires a beam of energy, well, I guess it's electricity, at the zombies in front of you for several seconds. But its hidden passive is that if you don't use the special charged ability, and instead you just keep your sword at max charge, which you can get there by either just getting a max ammo and listening out for the stag sound cue, or just getting regular slash kills until the sword starts glowing, then if you stay there with it glowing, it's actually going to cause chain lightning to flow between zombies when you do your regular attack, and this will recharge every, let's say, 15 seconds or so. So it's pretty powerful. You get the kind of effect of a Wonder Waff, but just from a sword. So if you want to use this to do the main quest Easter egg, then I've got that linked on the screen right now, and I've also got a swords ranking video so you can see which sword is the best and which sword is the worst. I'll see you there.